Hello everybody. I'm here to put my little 2 cents into what's going on right now. And I'm gonna get a little bit emotional, so if you can't handle a woman being emotional, you should end the video now. As a mom, it really scares me that I have a brown child. As a mom of a colored child, it scares me that one day Orion will be on his bicycle, on a skateboard, on the bus, driving his car, and he will get pulled over and something will happen to him because my child's brown. I've realized in the last couple years that I have white Mexican privilege. When I was little, I did not know what that was. And now I know that there is colorism in my culture. And I have been able to have many opportunities that a lot of other people haven't, just because I'm a lighter skin. And I never ever thought about this affecting me in any way. And in all honesty, because I'm from a Hispanic culture, my mom is Salvadorian and my dad is Mexican. Technically, I'm new to this country. My mom escaped El Salvador at 9 to look for a better life for her sisters, her 3 other sisters. My mom was the oldest. She was 9. And she came to this country to find a better opportunity and safety. She was given amnesty to be here from El Salvador. My father was 16 when he came to this country. I am a firstborn generation. I don't know the trials and tribulations of growing up in Mexico because I didn't grow up in Mexico. I grew up here. But when people, Caucasian people, see me, whether they're American or European or they know that I'm not white. They know that. They ask me, where are you from? And I use that opportunity not to be angry at their microaggression for my ethnicity and race. Because I still carry the privilege of being a lighter skinned Hispanic. And I asked them, well, when they ask me, I tell them, my mom is from El Salvador and she got amnesty here from her war-torn country when she was 9. My dad was 16 when he came to this country to look for a new opportunity, and I was born here. I don't know any other country except for this one. But when white people look at me, they know that I'm not white. I'm Mexican. So they ask me, where are you from? When I was in college, I took an African American studies class because I realized in AP history in high school that there were holes in the history and it didn't make sense. There were years of no history in the class. And I remember thinking to myself at 18, 17, high school, AP history, why are there holes in this history? This doesn't sound right. There's something missing. When I went to college, I took an African American studies class and I learned the missing history. I could have taken Chicano studies because technically I am a Chicana. But I chose to understand this country better. And who has more history in this country than Chicanos? Black people. African Americans. So I took that class in order to understand the country that I was born and raised in. My mom didn't talk about El Salvador. My dad never talked about Mexico. So when I grew up here, firstborn generation, I didn't understand the history of this country. I didn't understand the history of my past, my parents. So I needed to know where I stood and where I stand. And after I took the African American class, and I learned all the horrible things about this country and its past and the way Black and colored people were treated, and they didn't put that in our history books. They didn't put that in AP history class. And I didn't know. So I want to say to all the Hispanic people like me that were firstborn, even second generation, first generation, second generation, that unless you take an African American class, you don't know. You don't know what they did to them. You don't understand. This country is built on racism. This country is built on Black lives. They died in plantations. They died when they were lynched. They died when they were being dragged by horses. Do you know the word picnic? Do you know what that means? I learned in African American history class that the word picnic was used by white people. They would go to a park. Just a park where you're supposed to be safe with your family, with your children. And they would pick a nigga. They would pick on a colored person and assault them and attack them and kill them. In front of their family, in front of their children, in front of their mother, in front of their father. And if you don't know that, I don't blame you, because they don't put that in the history books. They don't put that there. The people who are responsible for our education, the people who are responsible for our books, the people who teach us history class aren't teaching us history class. So when we come out into the world and we see blacks being disproportionately arrested and killed. And we wonder, why do they have such a bad attitude? Why can't they just listen to the cops? Why can't they just, follow the rules? It does not work that way, bitch. You don't understand the history. We are new to this country as Hispanic Chicanos. Unless your family's been around for over 200 years, you are new to this country. I am new to this country. And the history that it really has, the real history. It's not my job to teach you the history of this country. But I felt the need to share that because I began to realize with the more people I talked to, they never took African American studies. They never took Chicano studies, and they don't know. And if you don't take those classes, you don't know. They don't teach you the real history in high school. And you just are ignorant by default. And after this, if you choose to be ignorant, you're not being ignorant by default. You're being ignorant by choice. So anyone who's watching this and you want to know now the history, please do. Please do. I just want to say a couple more things. The solution. A lot of people don't know what the solution is right now. Because every day this isn't ending. Every day this effect is rippling. This violence and protesting and looting and craze that has sparked up our country and has been rippling. The only solution that I can see is everyone. First of all, the 3 people who were there, the 3 cops that were there when he got killed, need to be arrested. They were fired. I just found out today they were all fired, but that's not enough. You don't just get to lose your job when you kill somebody. When you kill somebody, you should go to jail because that's the system that we have here. Unless I can just go become a cop and I kill somebody and I can get away with it because I'm a cop. But that's not what this country, right? We're about justice, right? So justice must be served. And they need to be arrested. Just like the person who actually killed him, they were accomplices. If it's not first-degree murder, it's second-degree murder. Every single cop, point number 2, every single cop that has ever killed a black life and has been released, been set free, they just lose their pension, they just lose their job, needs to be in jail. They need to be prosecuted and in jail. These are the only solutions. Because how am I, as a mother of a brown child, how am I going to feel safe to let my son ride the bike when he's 16 or go somewhere unattended without me having to physically drop him off and physically pick him up just to make sure that a cop doesn't harass him, inadvertently kill him, hurt him, or arrest him because of his color of his skin. As a mother, how am I supposed to be okay with that? If you were able to let these people go who literally have video, they literally shot them for no reason. Shot these people. I'm supposed to be okay? Like, Orion's not gonna get shot for no reason? No, they need to be prosecuted, all of them. That's the only way this is gonna get fixed. The looting, that's another thing I want to talk about. I hear both arguments. Why you gotta be looting for? You're making it worse. You're fucking it up for the peaceful protesting, right? What's the other argument? We've been in quarantine for so long. They just needed a way to express themselves. Some people haven't jokingly told me, "Oh, Eileen, what are you doing? Are you looting?" No, bro, I'm not looting. The coronavirus is still real. It's still out there. I'm not going to do that. Not going to risk that. And for all the people that are out there, that's one thing I hope you're still remembering, that the coronavirus is still real. Whereas usually I would be protesting in the circumstances, this is not one of them, because the Rona is real. But the looting, I see it as it's a way of expressing anger. It's the way of expressing frustration. I'm not condoning this destructive behavior whatsoever. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I will say that over the years of watching many colored people being shot and their murderers being cops being let go, peaceful protesting has not helped change this. I will say that. Peaceful protesting has maybe at most slowed down someone else being shot and killed inadvertently by someone with authority. I will say that protesting peacefully has not changed the corrupt cops, and it has not changed corrupt justice officials from prosecuting these murderous cops. Because it's one thing that these cops are killing people, right? But it's another thing that the justice system that we live in is not prosecuting them because they're cops. They have a badge. They're protected. It's a shield, not for you. The shield is not protection for me. The shield is not going to be protection for Orion. The shield is to protect themselves from being prosecuted when they wrongly kill somebody. They're blue shields to protect themselves. It has not slowed down the murders of these Black lives. Peaceful protesting. it has not helped. It feels like it hasn't helped. I know that it has. I know that there has been a lot of change, micro dose amount of change, but it's not sufficient enough to give peace to the mothers and family members of the people who died for no reason. A 9-year-old child that had a toy gun was shot because he had a toy gun and he was black. A 16-year-old boy was playing, hanging out with his friends, and he was shot by 2 cops. I personally know someone whose brother was shot and killed. And I can tell you that as a sister, I wouldn't be the same if that happened to my brother. And she wasn't the same. Her spirit is broken, and her heart is broken, and her spirit is at unrest because the cops got away with it. They killed her brother, 16 years old, and they got away with it. And to talk to her and to look into her eyes and hear her story, I couldn't even say anything. There's nothing I could have said to her to make her feel better because he's gone. The only thing that could possibly make her feel better was knowing that these cops were going to be brought to justice, and they weren't. And that didn't look like was going to happen anytime soon. And I think that that's the only solution. For every single person who has lost their life to someone with authority, not just a cop, but anybody with authority who had no real reason to shoot them down, they need to be prosecuted for murder. Just like I would. Just like my neighbor would. Just like my coworker would. If we had killed somebody in cold blood with a gun because we feel threatened, I would be prosecuted and I would be in jail. But I don't have a blue shield. I'm not protected from the justice system, and I'm not protected from my actions. I would go to jail. And that's all I have to say. Peace be with you. I'm going to try to find peace. And I know that the people affected won't until there's justice. And even after that, they might not. No one's going to bring back her dead brother. No one's going to bring back their dad, their mom, their uncle, their sister. They're not coming back. Peace be with you.